SchoolBeat is a student wellness platform, and in this video, we are going to focus on the wellness check-ins and SEL curriculum specific to elementary students. We are going to start with an overview of the movie lessons and then dive into the wellness check-ins. As you can see from my screen, we are currently in grades 5 to 6 in the curriculum. Grades 5 to 6 and 2 to 4 are the same structure, and they are broken out by theme. And each theme has 4 or 5 videos. In those videos, every single lesson is broken out by the movie modeling, and then we go into guided practice, which could be a discussion fully ready for a teacher or staff member to work with the students immediately. They just download the document. I'm going to say I'm going to teach it. They choose the grade level, and from there, this discussion is ready to go. Have the objective, the instructions, and then going right into the discussion. So the movie modeling, guided practice, independent practice would be taking a quiz. Each one of the quizzes has 5 questions, and those 5 questions are all aligned to one CASEL competency. That aggregates up into your district dashboard with the CASEL competency overview. The last area down here are reinforcement activities. These are ways to reinforce this theme and overall lesson or the related competencies that this lesson is all about. So with the curriculum, you can see in the movie modeling, there's 10 to 20 minutes. This is because in each of these videos, there is a choose your own adventure. So students have the ability to select what outcome they want to watch, how they, if they were that character in this video, how would they make a decision? And so students, if they're only going to watch one path, it will take about 10 minutes. If they're going to watch all paths, it will take about 20 minutes. So that is that choose your own adventure movie modeling SEL lesson. Now, each of the themes has the same structure. Each of the videos has the same structure. All of the information that teachers need to go through and teach any one of those areas, even in the reinforcement activities where it's saying like role play activities, every single thing a teacher would need is in there ready to roll out right now. For the pre-K to 1 curriculum, the difference here is that there's only 3 themes. The first theme is exploring emotions. And so it's going over what are those key foundational emotions. And then it goes into a whole movie modeling section. In this section, it takes students through real life scenarios and allows them once again to see how students can feel, act them out. So it is that movie modeling. And as you can see, every lesson has the same structure where they're going from step 1 of movie modeling into guided practice and reinforcement. With the pre-K 1, there is no activity in here that those young students are going to log in and complete. So all of this can be instructor led. If you do have students logging in, it would be so that you can assign a video so that they can watch it again at a later date, but it's not actually going to have activities within that they complete. The final theme of the pre-K to 1 is the identifying emotions. In this section, this is where you can go through these short lessons around situations where 2 emotions may be happening that feel very similar. So it helps the students identify those emotions within the emotion game in this section. So right here, you can see this one is surprised or sad. And once again, it goes through. We have the video lesson, that identifying step 1, and then it goes into reinforcement. So that is pre-K 1 through 6th grade in regards to the curriculum. For the check-ins, You can see that, and I'm going to jump over right here to group check-in. And this is where students in pre-K 1 have their own check-in, and it is strictly emotional. So how are you feeling today? And so these kids can come up, they can choose how they are feeling, confirm that, and that is now logged to the mood board for their class. For our elementary students, they have a little more in regards to physical and social emotions. So now I am checking in as an elementary student, and I get to say, okay, I am happy, and I can decide here, am I happy or excited? And so you can see that I have now an intensity scale for my emotions. So I'm going to say I'm actually really excited. You can see that I can now type in how I feel about this. Once again, this is for those older elementary students. And we can turn off this text box if a school or district does not want this on. Now we also have a physical check-in. So how are you feeling physically at this moment? I can say I feel rested. And follow-up here is, how would you like to be supported for emotional or physical? Or you could say, I want to talk to my teacher, I don't want support. And finally, I'm going to look at the upper elementary. So we did pre-K where it was emotion only. We just did early elementary where it was emotion and physical. And now I'm going to go into an upper elementary. And this is where, let me pull up Franklin. You can see I'm going to once again choose happy. And now I have another intensity level. So I can say excited, I can say happy, or I can say, I am just content. The physical aspect still here. So I'm going to say, I'm feeling rested. Now we have the social aspect. So do you feel included, connected, well-liked, friendly, ignored, rejected, disliked, or awkward? So this is where I can say, I'm feeling friendly. Once again, do you want a tip, strategy for one of the things that you've logged, or do you not want support? You could also request support from your teacher. So that is the elementary check-ins. There are 3 levels depending on the age range, and all of that pulls into your classroom mood board or your group's mood board. So we can see the check-ins for my students during this period. So you can even say, I just want to look at this the last 30 days. And from here, you can see how many check-ins and then what were they. So 35% of the time, my students are happy. That is great. But physically, what are they typically logging? And so we can see they're full and healthy, but sometimes I do have students that are tired. And then socially, what are their logins? And we're seeing 47% are saying they're friendly. And so this is that mood board. From here, you can also see if there's any alert. So an alert is if a student logs something that is considered very difficult. And so you can say from here, like, okay, I connected with the student and it is now resolved, or I'm not able to provide that support, so I'm referring this student. So you can say, okay, I am updating that to referred, and that alert is gone. If any student, if you do have that messaging, the text box enabled in the check-ins, those student messages will appear here, and then you can go out and look at those messages. If it's disabled, you will not see that. If you did want to dive into individual students, if you're going through and you're like, you know what, I want to look at my students and see what's really going on, you can come in and actually choose that individual student and look at their mood board and everything that's going on with just their check-ins. And this is true for every one of your classes. So right now I am looking at my 5th grade class, but maybe I want to go in and look at my 2nd grade class. So now I can see my students here and I can go out and look at, each one of those kids. And so I just toggle through my classes up here and I look at what that student's mood board is. If a student requests to speak to a teacher or ask for support, I can mark that support request off right here. I can even see all the activities my students are doing within the platform directly under their profile. Same thing with the check-ins and screeners. You can be over here in the mood board and just flip through your different classes to see what are the mood boards for each one of those classes, what are the alerts that you have for them, and everything's right here in that dashboard. I hope you've enjoyed this overview, and please feel free to reach out to us if there is anything that you need in regards to our curriculum or our reporting.